Hello hiking friends out there, I have another cool place to take you. This is a place called Wildwood Canyon State Park. And it's got a lot of things to do. Let's go take a look at it here on Google Earth. Alright, so now as we zoom in here, we're zooming into Southern California. And this is it. Now when you pull in here, this is the parking lot. But I want you to pull back a minute so you can see how easy it is to get to this place. Okay, so here's the 10 freeway, Calimesa Boulevard. You can see how this is working. Come up Calimesa Boulevard and then turn left and you're on Wildwood Canyon and come on in. It's really, really cool. Okay, now as we're looking at this, this whole area was bought by the state for flood control. So I'm going to go a little bit further. I'm going to stop there. If you can see over here, we're going to look at that another time. These are a whole bunch of cool trails. Now, there's a place called the High House up here, right up in this area here. We're not going to do that this time. We're going to come down over here and just take the road coming straight up. Now, this is it's a nice walk, and it's got a nice slope to it, and you can ride your bike up there, of course. It's really, really nice. But when you get up to here, you're going to see this active ranch. There used to be an active ranch. Now it's in disrepair. In fact, all the buildings are owned by the state still. It's a state park. It's just a cool place to explore. It's really, really cool. It's beautiful. Now, as you come up here, you get this rustic feeling of what history was like. And as we come over here and we can explore all these barns, look, they're open. You can go through here. Now, the things like inside the house, they're alarmed. If you hear the alarm go off, don't worry about it. They're not going to respond or anything like that. It's just to let you know that they're being taken care of. And then you can see this was a pretty active ranch. We're going to talk about that in this video. Now, as we come down here, look at this. You don't see it from here, but under this shed is a treasure trove of old farming equipment. It is really, really cool. So if you take it up here, you can see we're coming up to another area. This is a nice, I say quaint building. It's full of bees, so don't go near it. And over here, you can see, even right now, you can see it. There's the remains of an old tractor. Well, the reason why I'm bringing you here is because I want to tell you about the Hunt Ranch. This is called the Hunt Ranch. And I want to tell you how it became what it was. I want to tell you how this is such a great hike and why you might want to do this hike. And if you get right to here, it's a beautiful picnic area right there. So take your lunch up. It's going to be fun. All right, so let's get right on taking you to the Hunt Ranch. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Now, after you come up Wildwood Canyon and turn left into the park, you're going to just go a little bit further and you'll see a great big parking area. You're probably going to see horses. You're probably going to see big trailers and stuff like that. But I just want to warn you, when you come in here, go slow. Well, one, because of the animals, but more important than that, it's not a very well-maintained parking area. There's a lot of places to hit things as far as bumps and stuff like that. So come in slow, sit back, and then after you get out, before you take off, look around. It's beautiful. There's some active ranches there, and then you can see some windmills. And then there's going to be two places to go. You can either go along the trail, which is to the right, or follow the main road. On this one, I would like you to follow the main road, and I'll show you what's on the way up. Now, if you follow this road in the same direction the horses are going, you're going to come to a barrier. It's just a vehicle barrier. You easily go around. Read the posted signs because it gives you a little more insight, shows you a map what's going on, and just gives you some careful hints about how you handle yourself inside the state park. But when you go through there, you're going to continue on and take Water Canyon Trail. Now, the Hunt Ranch was established in 1930 and was a very successful one. They had horses and they had fields and they pulled in grain, just a lot like the Central Valley in early Californian times. Now, what happened was is the state decided to buy this property for flood control purposes. Of course, you know, if you, we've talked about it before, in 1969, we got slammed with a giant flood. And so they've taken a lot of precautions to stop flood from hitting our area. And this is one of them. This way they can control how the water flowed and everything else. Now, just passing this wooden fence here makes me feel like I'm entering a whole new era, a whole new time and space in history. So just feel it as you're walking by. Feel the energy of the past and how the simple life used to be. I didn't say easy life, I said simple life, okay? Make sure you know this was probably hard carving a place out of the dry mountains, dry hills of California. Now, when you get to the main complex, well, what's going to happen is you're going to see this sort of arbor of trees trail, and we pull into the complex. You'll see where it's sort of like the Waltons. It was really cool. Really neat. That made me think about that. You can see the house on the right. There's a big barn over here. If you go in this barn, you're going to see just a big. It's nothing built up in there, but it's just sort of interesting to look in there. There's a storage shed there. All kinds of stuff that's really neat to. So when you get to this area, explore a little bit. It's really, really interesting. Again, when you go up and look inside the house, and you may set off an alarm, no one's ever responded to me, so I'm just assuming that the beep is to tell you to go away. But imagine if we take care of this place, it could go on forever, and everybody can get a chance to remember the past. Now, after you're done with the storage shed or that barn thing that has that, and make sure you look at, just take a peek inside the sort of the closet room there. It's pretty cool. Then you're going to go through all kinds of storage areas. If you go through here, just look for things that look familiar to you. Look like, whoa. I mean, especially if you take your kids and say, well, Mom, what is that? Dad, what is that? This is your chance to give them a little bit about what it was like as we were growing up. I talk about the 30s. Wow. Okay, but just get a chance to go look around these areas, and now we're going to go somewhere cool, though. I have several times, as I've walked through this whole, residence history, whatever you want to call it, going through this site makes me long to live in a place like this, a place where it's secluded, it's close enough that you can get what you need, but it's dependent on yourself. And I love the idea of looking and imagining a dog running through a field while a child is on a horse. Okay, this is my favorite part, going through and looking all this machinery. Now, when I worked in Oregon and also when I worked in England, I got to work with this stuff. You driving a tractor, here's a generator. You plug it on the tractor of the power takeoff, and then you make electricity. Really, really cool. See there? Very, very nice. And there you're looking at all the different equipment that was used on the hunt ranch. There's a combine. There's different sorts of implements there. Look, there's even a dole bin. So they did business with dole. It's really neat. Now, some of the stuff I would not recognize anymore because it's all different than it used to be. This would be to make furrows for seeds. This is just a trailer. Very, very cool. Now comes, I think this is the coolest part. Here is this old fort. I think it's a fort, I can't tell. But I'm sitting back and looking at this. Of course, it's decrepit, it's broken down, but it's got so much history behind it. I felt like I was, I don't know, looking at a ghost. Is that the best way to look at this? As a ghost? Wow, I think it's cool. Really neat. nestled hubs, the brake system, really cool. And then we're going to look at a tire here. It's really, really cool. This tire, here's the light, really neat. Here's a tire and radial tire or a string. I don't understand how. Look at this. I remember playing with something like this when I was up in Oregon playing on the ranch, when I lived on a ranch in Oregon. That was really, really cool. Now I have to give you a warning about this house. I wanted to explore so much, I started just walking toward the house. It's full of bees, and they were serious about me not being in there, not being anywhere near that place. So I'm just warning you, when you go there, take your time and walk. If it's cold, they're probably not going to care because they're insects and they can't move around, but they are aware of you walking next to that. So make sure you're very careful. I ended up having to walk away very carefully and not swat. I didn't want to tick those guys off. Really, really cool though. All right. Okay, so now we're going to look at the, I think, one of the, other than the truck, the next most interesting thing is this engine. It's this, right here. You can see this is the old, I don't know, I think they call them donkey engines now. But it was on a sled, or you could drag it around, and there are transmissions for it. It's like part of a tractor. And you can see here all how the engine worked. You can get in there and look at it. It's really cool. Yeah, I love this thing. And again, to me, it's just the history of it all, right? And now, at the very back of this thing is the power takeoff, right there. That is where you plug that generator thing in. Yeah, right there. You plug the generator thing in there, and then it spins, and it makes electricity, so you can work away from the house if you don't have electricity. Really cool. Well, it's really been a great time showing you this, and I want to end with this little bit of fun. Where the road runs down by the butternut grove to Old Mill Skinner Stream, do tell at the noonday bell it's time for a summertime dream. In a lunch pail town in a one-horse way, you can feel like a king or a queen. Let's steal away at the noonday bell, it's time for a summertime dream. Birds and all creation will be twittering in the trees. And down the below the pond, I know you can swim in it if you please. I love that song, don't you?
Yeah.